Yep, it's the brand new Chevy Corvette E-Ray, and I've got a special guest with me, Motorman from Motorman TV, where we're going to be talking about the E-Ray, the regular Corvette, and the Z06, isn't that right?
Thank you for having me, sir. I am very excited to geek out with you about this, because this is more the tech geeks Corvette than it is the old school Corvette. You want to start with a general idea of what it is, Roman?
Yeah, let's start with that, because obviously a lot of people are not into electric cars when it comes to performance cars, and the E-Ray is electrified. In fact, it's not just electrified, it's also all-wheel drive because of it, which I think is cool.
Technically, it really would be the first all-wheel drive Corvette.
Yes, of course.
So let's go over some of the tech bits. I'm going to geek out with you on some of the numbers, bullets and numbers, and then we could talk about some of the general idea of it. So it starts out as a C8 Stingray. So that means it's the 6.2 direct injected V8, 495 horsepower, 470 pounds of torque. That's the rear of the car. Then in the front, they add an electric motor. The electric motor is good for another 160 horsepower and 125 pounds of torque, and that is fed through a 1.9 kilowatt hour battery. Now, as a basis of comparison, like a Hyundai Ioniq 5, that has a 77.9 kilowatt hour battery. So, Roman, how far will this go in full electric mode, or stealth mode as they call it?
Well, Chevy will say 5 miles, under 45 miles an hour, where the internal combustion engine kicks on. In real world, it might be more like 3 or 4. I agree with you.
I'm thinking 3 to 4 miles, and they cap it at 45 miles an hour in what they call the stealth mode. There is a second electric mode. Overall, there are 6 drive modes.
Let's see, are there buttons for those, or is it like in the...
It's the same. The interior is effectively the same as the standard Corvette. The only thing they change is there is an app for the E-Ray in the infotainment system that's specific to all the information you would need, like how many kilowatts are being used, how far to charge, and all that kind of stuff.
You know what people don't like? People actually don't like this.
The buttons up here.
Yeah, the buttons up here. I actually don't mind it.
I got to tell you, I spent about 10 days driving this car long distance.
Yep.
And once I understood that the high-use items, like the fan and the temperature, are toggle switches, once you get that, it actually is pretty good to use.
And I'm just happy that they're actual real physical switches as opposed to
Absolutely. Phil Zach and his
sliders.
team did a great job on this. And you know what? A fun fact for your viewers, the team that designed this car, right after they did this, they didn't go to Disneyland, they designed the Hummer that you own. You realize that?
I can see a strong family resemblance in the technology. Now, here's the thing, okay, Motorman? People in the automotive journalism biz and boomers hate this car because basically it's the second coming of the NSX, right? It's got the same, electric motor, internal combustion engine, right? But I love it. I think it's cool. For me in Colorado, I love the fact that we now have a
all-wheel drive
Corvette. I love that you can drive it, stealthily.
Yeah.
I love that it does 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds.
2.5 seconds as opposed to the Z06, which we'll get to over there. That's 2.6, the best I've seen.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing that is, I'd say, part of this conversation, the Acura was what, 180,000 US?
Yes.
This, the most basic, which they're calling the 1LZ, it's on offer in convertible and hardtop. The basic one's 105. The convertible is a little over 111. But that said, I want to show you something really important. A big change between, say, a regular Stingray and this. There's 2 of them, actually. Actually 3 if you consider the electric motor. Number 1, it's 15.7-inch diameter rotors in the front and 15.4 in the back, and it's fitted with carbon ceramic as standard. Now, something really important to understand, that's opposite of the regular Stingray. Because it's a mid-engine car, the brake rotors in the back of that are actually bigger in diameter than the front. So the reason why they did this here is because you're obviously getting an additional 125 pounds of torque.
And of course there's more weight there, right? Because the battery kind of lives underneath the passenger compartment.
Absolutely. I'm interested to drive this because I don't know how much time you spent driving it. Actually, you drove it on a track.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, you did the episode for me when I was in the hospital.
That's right, yeah.
You did a tech review for me. So this has a little lift in the front when you're driving a C8. I'm wondering if that's not the case here. So another big change, the wheels. They're staggered 2021, but it's a specific design to the E-Ray.
How about the exhaust? Any difference?
The exhaust is different as well. It's not the same Z06 exhaust. So they have the regular Stingray exhaust. Because if you think about it, from the B pillar to the back, It's the same car. It's a Stingray. It's only from the A-pillar forward that it's a different car.
So
the other thing, the body panels change. So this is actually the width of the Z06, so it's 3 inches wider than a Stingray.
So what do you think of the design? I think this was like one of the last cars that, is it Tom Waters, if I'm getting the name?
Tom Peters did not work on this.
No, he did not work on this. Okay,
He did not work on this.
But
No, this car...
the inspiration was a Jet, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And Tommy thinks it's just too busy. There's just too much going on.
Well, it's not just the back. I would agree with Tommy, and normally I don't agree with Tommy on this kind of stuff. There's too many lines going on, so that's where he and I...
it's very busy, yeah.
It's too busy in design. Overall, it's still a good design. It's just not clean. So I think it's the question of, you look at like C3s or C2s, there are these elegant designs, and the reason why they're doing so well in the classic car world is because they hold
their own.
Well, no, because people around the world want them. Where you look at like Mopars, people don't want those around the world, just Americans.
The Europeans hate Corvettes. They think they're snobs. They think that the American Corvette can go in a straight line, but it doesn't go around a turn.
As a guy who's lived in Europe twice, he is dead wrong.
No,
the classic Corvette market is huge there.
No, first of all, I'm not dead wrong about Europeans hating Corvettes. They do hate Corvettes.
New ones.
Okay, new ones.
Yeah.
And I think they're also dead wrong because, you know, they have kind of a continental bias toward, obviously,
stuff,
all the Italian, all the German stuff. But this new Corvette is, in terms of performance, in terms of handling, in terms of feel, in terms of everything that you would judge a sports car by, as good as anything European at a third of the cost, dude. And let's talk about that. So the basic Corvette, right? 1LT7.
67,000 for the
this
hardtop.
110.
105 for the hardtop, 111 for the convertible.
Let's go hit the Z06.
Okay.
That's more like 150.
Show them, as we're going over there, show them the bodywork from the front. Notice the front of the car is different. So it has a little bit different of a stance. It's wider. It's like more boy racer because you've got the extra width and the different wheels. I got to say, I like these wheels better than I do on the Stingray, even though that's the 70th anniversary car.
I don't like the color. It's a very weak-kneed color.
It's their version of Porsche chalk.
Yeah, I don't like it.
I don't think I would do that.
I would not do that color.
One of the things Corvette
and that's the hero color because it's here.
That's the hero color?
Well, I'm guessing because they wouldn't build non-hero color.
That's not.
You don't think it's hero color?
I wouldn't call it. Maybe it is. You're probably right.
I'm saying that's Chevy's idea.
Let's just say Roman and I agree
Yeah.
on these things. And actually, just to go back to a statement I said earlier, I actually agree with a lot of stuff Tommy says. It's just on a Jeep we disagreed on some of the colors.
All right, so let's look at the Z06. Now, of course, what makes the Z06 so unique is that it's supercharged, you know.
It's magnificent and stupid all in one wonderful car.
0 to 60 in about
2.6 seconds.
Which is incredible for a rear-wheel
Oh, you know what we
car?
forgot to share?
What?
So I gave you all the bullets numbers over there. The total system output is 655 horsepower, which is close to this.
All right, now that's another reason I love that car, or at least the possibility of it, because I live at altitude, and so that car with the electrified motor is going to actually have more horsepower than this car at a mile above sea level. And then people say, well, I don't live at sea level, but I'm like, hey, a lot of the world lives above sea level. They do.
Agreed. I see that car appealing to more normal Corvette buyers.
That's what the rub is. So people in the business think that that's like the GT. This is the hardcore track car, and this is the bargain. And I agree with that. And I don't agree with that.
Did they share any information on volumes with you?
No.
Because they haven't. I haven't gotten any information on volumes. We know this is going to be lower production. This is not a limited production car, but right now the market is doing its market force on it. It's very hard to get these things, and if you do get one, they are over sticker. I think once we catch up with production, I think those will be available, and that's the one that'll sell more than this one.
You might be right. You know, there's a funny thing happening right now where, you know, they're really, because of COVID, production got constrained, and the automakers and the dealers figured out that they could make more money by selling less cars. The only one who could do that before was Ferrari and Porsche. And now, of course, it's kind of trickled down, and I don't think that's a good thing. I think this has always been the every man or woman like supercar.
Well, they sold 50,000 of these a year.
Yeah, and
not Z06s, but 50,000 Corvettes.
And you know, having to pay over sticker, having to wait in line, it just feels wrong for a car that's supposed to be very American. So let's compare the two. So you're right,
this is all about active aero. This is all about downforce on the car. So what you're looking at here is a Z07 package. So this one's got the flicks, the different spoiler in the back, and this one does have the carbon fiber wheels. Very expensive option, not something you would want to use as a daily, because if you bust that wheel, it's expensive. The entire point of it is lower unsprung weight, which is something you want on a track.
Now, the previous C7 had actually, Z06, had a bad reputation for overheating.
Yes,
What's
they
the
did.
word out on these? Are they better?
We don't know enough yet.
Too early.
They're just out at this point.
Yeah.
So I think this is going to be a kind of a wait and see, and we can check in with our friend Jack, who bought one of these, and find out what he's doing.
From Savage
Fitted
Beast.
luggage.
Yeah, look at that, fitted luggage, and I guess this must be the different colors you can get. Which one would you go for if you were buying
You know
one?
what?
I like the blue.
I love the blue.
I like torch red.
The one I featured on my show, not this one, but
Torch
the regular
red?
Corvette, I did a torch red with a tan interior, which was gorgeous. Something tells me I would want to do, I actually do like the yellow. I will put more, probably, I've got a theory about yellow. I don't know if I've ever shared this with you, Roman. You get excited, like, look at this, it's super cool looking. And you're like, you know what, I'm going to buy a yellow car. And then 2 weeks later, you go into your garage and you go, oh my God,
I bought a yellow car. You know,
That's my fear with this.
For all you aspiring YouTubers out there, yellow definitely pops the most
Yeah.
out of any color. When it comes to, like, you know, you have a row of thumbnails,
Yeah.
the yellow car will always.
But look at it with the carbon fiber wheel. I'm not a carbon fiber guy, but it does look stunning with the carbon fiber wheel and the black trim on it and
All right,
everything.
well, let's end with the last one. And This
Okay.
isn't 1LT, which
So
starts
this
at
is
67.
this is a 70th anniversary model, which, you know, if you think about it, the E-Ray was introduced 70 years after the introduction of the Corvette. So technically, that's the 70th anniversary model.
I liked it. I like the metallic white, you know, with the sparkle.
It's too understated, and I don't want a white interior.
Ooh.
Remember we were talking about Marco Island and all the old guys driving Corvettes? I think of old guys with like wallabies driving this thing.
I think of spilling my iced tea and making a horrible stain.
Also, notice in this one here,
Yeah.
so there, for those of you that know Chevys, and this applies to Corvettes too, they have 3 trim levels. They have a 1LT, 2LT, and 3LT. In the case of the Corvette, it's all about the trim on the door panels and the dash. You can have like vinyl that actually looks very good. The build quality is good, but the 3LT makes all of this leather. Here it's suede.
So I am really like jonesing for a 1LT. Until I was in Florida and saw a bunch of old dudes driving it. Yes, I know that's weird, but it's true.
I think you should buy one.
But I want the 1LT. I want the cheapest Corvette because, look, the difference between $67,000 in terms of just driving joy, right?
Yeah.
And $150,000 and $110,000 is not that great. I think I could be just as happy behind, and this one isn't 67, but let's say this was a 1LT. If I could get one for whatever this, you know, the base sticker is, I think you're going to get 90% of the Corvette experience at like 10% or 50% of the price.
Oh, I totally agree with you.
So
but
why
here's a
spend the
question
extra
I
money?
have for you. And, you know, let's throw this out to the audience for the
Yeah.
question as well. So you and I
Look,
already
young,
know.
Look, young guy, see? Ah, it's cool.
Young guy. Let's ask him.
Yeah.
Would you buy this car?
Is that a yes?
Probably. What other car would you consider?
Yeah, what other car would you consider? Hold on, let me get a mic on.
It's got to be a car like that.
Yeah.
Like this?
Yeah, what else car would you consider a Porsche?
Oh, a Porsche for sure, yeah.
Over
I'm a big
this?
911 fan. Price-wise, no, but if I were in the market and had the money, I would consider a Porsche personally.
So all things being equal, meaning money the same,
then I would buy
All right,
this.
okay, so the
you'd
one,
buy this over the Porsche.
Money being the same,
Money being the same.
then Porsche over.
Let
Okay.
me ask you this.
There you
Hold
go.
on. Stay with your mic. I'm going to ask you a question.
Yeah.
So 1LT starts at 67,000.
Okay.
A base Carrera 2 starts at about 100, give or take.
Carrera
Yep.
2 starts at 120.
Base Carrera starts at like.
Oh,
100.
base Carrera. Yeah, not an S.
So
Okay.
the difference is like,
Huge price.
yeah, $33,000
Yeah,
for
base
that.
price.
You know, this or the Porsche
Yep.
base.
Real
Target
world,
base
it would
car.
be this car.
Okay, there you
And
go.
you don't think this is an old man's car?
Not anymore, no.
All right.
No.
They don't agree either.
All the college kids that I know were in college.
And you like these?
Yes, 100%. The Corvette, the whole old man Corvette thing.
Hold on a second. Hold on
Hold
a
on,
second.
with that mic. Hold on. Old man Corvette thing.
So
Go
say
ahead.
that again?
I said the whole old man thing with the
Yeah.
Corvettes is just not really a thing anymore. At least among us.
How old are you guys?
I'm 21.
And where do you guys go to school?
Northern Illinois University.
And you're from Illinois?
My wife's alma mater.
Okay, so
Husky.
you realize we have just proven something here.
What is that?
What you thought in Marco Island that these are old man's cars, that's complete crap because here we have 21-year-olds.
Yeah.
These guys are a third of your age.
Yeah,
And they say this is a cool car.
the problem is you couldn't afford the
Actually,
insurance.
a fourth of his age.
That's the problem right now.
Okay.
We should be getting the engineer salary going, you know, should
Are you
be.
guys
Are you guys engineering?
Yep.
Good man.
Mechanical?
Yep.
Manufacturing myself.
Us
wow.
three are mechanical. He's manufacturing.
All right.
Yep.
All right.
I like these guys.
Yeah, I like these guys too. Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate it.
You've proven a point. So then now let's throw this question out to the audience. The question is this. This is $67,000. I agree, one of the best bargains out there. And that one is, let's call it the better part of $150, however you're going
The
to...
problem is that they're selling over stickers, so you're
I
looking at
understand.
$200.
All we're talking about is,
All right, all right.
MSRPs at this point.
And non-greedy dealers.
Non-greedy dealers, MSRPs. Let's say you can get any of these in sticker. Do you think you're going to maintain more of your purchase price and resale
Oh, for sure.
with that?
Yeah.
Do you think once the market catches up, these will start to depreciate like normal Corvettes did?
I hate to say this, Moto Man, but I think this one will depreciate the most.
Oh, I agree.
I think this one will depreciate the second most, and that one will depreciate the
This
least.
is the LC500 hybrid. That's what this is.
Yeah.
Maybe that should be the title of the video.
LC500 hybrid. You don't want the V8, you want the V6.
You want the V8. So, anybody that tells you that there's a chip shortage still going on, they're lying to you, at least for the car world. They're completely lying to you. They're catching up. With Corvettes, there's still a lot of demand for people buying them.
Yeah, you can get them though. I'm starting to see, so what happened, of course, with Corvettes was people bought them and then they flip them. There were a lot of flippers. It's an obvious car to flip, and I think those days are numbered, if not over.
I've got a buddy of mine lives in DC, and he's got a 2LT non-Z51 convertible. He bought the car for a little over sticker and sold it for even more like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So that's another thing we should put out to the audience. What are you seeing in the market for Corvettes right now?
Well, there you have it, guys. I like this. This is the one I wanted personally.
Yeah.
If I were to get one, but the color really put me off. Maybe I'm very right-brained, and the color affects my emotional state. And these cars are an emotional buy, so the color is really putting me off. Maybe
Here's the
it's
thing.
not. It's not the car. It's the color.
Roman is not being honest with himself. He's old. He doesn't have many good years on this earth left, so he needs to get
That's
the
right.
full-out Z06.
I'm going to have a hard time getting it out of it. Is that what you're telling me? I'm going to be like
Yeah, he's
help me
already
out.
going to the bathroom every 5 minutes.
All right, thank you guys.
Yeah, do you guys have a YouTube
This was
channel or
super
something?
fun.
Yeah, TFL car.
TFL.
Yeah, TFL.
We're doing
check it
some
out.
advertising here.
Yeah.
And Motoman TV,
And
all
Motoman
one
TV.
word.
All right, if you
Yeah.
guys want to check out Motoman's videos, go to Motoman TV. If you want to check out more of ours, go to alltfl.com. And if you want to see these guys, head on up to Northern Illinois University. A lot going on up there, gentlemen. A lot going on. All right, see you.
Be später from Chicago.
Ciao. German, really German in front of a Corvette
Well, speaking
video?
of German, hold on a minute. Thinking of these kind of cars, when I go back to California on Sunday, I'm going to be shooting the M4 CSL. Super limited
you should be
production
like,
BMW.
Bro, bye.